Hey everybody, good afternoon. How we doing out there? It's Doc Severson with Ready Set Crypto. This is what we call Ready Set Live. Today is the 1st of March, so spring is right around the corner. Although from what I understand, some of you are getting pounded in various places on the planet. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see you folks. Make sure check in and let us know where you're coming in from. Like, where are you located on the planet? Where are you joining us from today? And go ahead and hit the thumbs up button on today's stream so you can let other folks know that we are getting started here momentarily. So we're gonna keep this one short and contained because I've got some trading to do here in the next hour. So I want to definitely wrap up by the 30 minutes after the hour. So we'll keep you short and sweet here today. All right. So we got a couple of folks joining us in here from Robert from deep behind enemy lines in California. And we will certainly get into a chart on Hex for you. And good day from Melbourne. All right. We've got Matador Mac. All right. And then Ronnie, good to see you. And we got Replica coming in from Florida. I am located in beautiful downtown Greenville, South Carolina. It has been spring for at least the past 2 weeks. We have, I don't know, it's got to be 78 degrees outside Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's warm. It's nice. But we have a storm coming. And that storm is going to dump a lot of snow in the Northeast. I think it's going to give us a lot of rain. Novak's coming in from the Gold Coast. I've heard so many good things about the Gold Coast. Definitely. All right. So I'm going to kick things off here with a little bit of patter. I'm going to talk you guys through the market. And during that time, if you wouldn't mind, if there is a coin pair that you'd like to look at, it's probably best if you just give me the ticker symbol, because making me, I'm a bit of an idiot savant, right? So making me look up the actual ticker symbol can be a challenge. All right. So looking at Bitcoin here, and we'll just look at Bitcoin on price and volume. We've got the Golden Cross. No one cares about the Golden Cross. Don't care about the Golden Cross. That's just moving average is moving. You could always find some time frame where the Golden Cross is not working in your favor. A lot of people putting out a lot of FUD out there like, oh no, Bitcoin's got to get above the 200-week moving average. Otherwise, this is all null and void. Oh, that's hogwash. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. All that really matters is price. Price is the only thing that pays. Is the price putting in higher highs and higher lows or not? Now, if I go out to the weekly chart, here is where I see the challenge. And you can see that, 200-week moving average there. This is the challenge. We've got to see the weekly chart. The weekly chart's done a good job of putting in a higher high, which is above this high. And it needs to fall back at some point and print a higher low. Now, where that prints a higher low, I don't know. Nobody does. A lot of people on YouTube and Twitter seem to know that, but I don't. So wherever this comes in with a higher low, that's what we need to see. And then we need to see the price drive above that to a higher high. We need to transition into an uptrend. This is not an uptrend yet, my friends. This is a swing to the upside. This is an upswing. Let's see who else we got. We got another person from the Gold Coast. They're all over the place. Welcome aboard, Crypto Bureau. Hey, Rajith, good to see you here. So this is not a weekly uptrend yet. We're getting there. So step one is complete. We have a higher high. That's all good, right? I'm not gonna denigrate that. Oh, you're not seeing the chart that I'm looking at. Excuse me. You guys should have let me know. I told you I'm an idiot savant. So here's what we're looking at. So weekly chart needs to drive up to a higher high. Step one, check. Now we need this to come down to a higher low. And we're not there yet. We are not there yet. So that will happen probably soon. That will probably happen soon. And it's going to feel scary when it does so. And everybody's going to give up on it. And everybody's, Twitter will be afire. Like, here we go. Here's the next bear market. But the fact that we've driven above this previous high does increase the odds that any low from here will be a higher low. And personally, I hope it is above 20,000. I hope it's above 20,000 because that would give this a little bit more, I think, a little bit more zip to that. So we don't want to see it drop below 20,000. There's a lot, that's a pretty heavily defended area. The reason why we dropped below that was the FTX FUD. Okay, so that's overall, that's the bigger picture on things, and everything else is kind of being driven by that. We're seeing a lot of green today, but right now this is a trader's market. This is not an investor's market yet. A trader's market means that you buy signals and you sell into strength. So what we're going to be seeing in the meantime here is we'll probably see a lot of these daily signals showing up. And I'm expecting to see a lot. Like right now, Litecoin is showing an RSI hook. So this is a long signal, a hook signal that we're seeing right now. This is going to be firing into the room in our platform tonight at 7 o'clock, more than likely. And what I want you to do is to take that signal and I want you to sell into strength, which is more than likely going to be the former highs. It's just going to be a trading signal. It's just a trading signal. You get in, you get a good entry, and then you sell into strength. You don't wait for this thing to do something like that, okay? So it's a trader's market. When we get into weekly uptrends, then it will be an investor's market. Okay, so let's see what else. IMX and STX, I'll look at those. STX is on fire. Matador Mac, what are my thoughts for the USA and world economy markets, et cetera, in the third and fourth quarters? Gosh, I don't know. Again, I'm just look, here's my thought, is everywhere I look, everything that I read right now is that this is the worst economic backdrop and the Fed's doing this. And like I'm seeing the Fed and the ECB and all these other bumbling idiots out there, peddling their wares. And I think they're screwing up. But do I think there's going to be a recession? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. People think, oh, we're going to get a recession in the third quarter of this year, and therefore then the market's going to crash. Guess what? The market's already looking 6 to 9 months at least, maybe even as much as a year out. It's already priced in the fact that things suck, right? So when I see everybody have the same basic opinion about things, which is that things are terrible and they're about to get really, really bad, then I start to look in the opposite direction. What would have to happen right now for the majority of people that are out there investing in markets to say, hey, wait a minute, that can't happen. There's no way that can't happen. It would be a rally, wouldn't it? It's not that I'm bullish, but right now I'm thinking like, what would the market have to do to screw the greatest number of people? So either the people that are short or the people sitting on the sideline going, I'm not gonna buy that dip. No, there's no way. Look at all the bad news everywhere. And I've seen this happen time after time after time after time. You cannot trade based on the news. You cannot trade based on the news. So yeah, we may have some pain in the short term. And all it's going to do is it's going to gin up so much fear in the short term that nobody will want to buy the next dip. Nobody will be on the next dip. It will be a solo voyage to the upside because there will be nobody in their right mind that will go along with it. And that's my thought. That's my thought. I'm always trying to look at the opposite side of where the herd is going. And right now the herd is completely and totally bearish on everything. So that's kind of my thoughts on things. All right, let me get into some of the coins for you guys. And I'll start out with Hex. Hex is always a difficult one to chart. But it looks like we can do that versus USDC. Ooh, Woo, look at that. Would you look at that? So for now, I mean, finally, we've got Hex. we've been crapping upon Hex for the last couple of years, haven't we? And Hex is starting to really look good. Now we've got volume coming in, and we've got the price well above the 200-day moving average. We can put our trend trading strategy on here. And that's a buy signal right now, and it's holding all of the lows. It looks really, really good. So I may start to watch this one. Okay, so what does this look like on the weekly chart? The weekly chart is just beginning, right? So don't get too excited. Don't go, oh my God, I'm missing out. I'm missing out. It's just starting to get going. It's just starting to get going. So wait for the next higher low, which we'll set up on the weekly chart, and then you can turn into an investor on Hex. So this one looks really good. I like this. I mean, this is a great beginning. And that's kind of what I was saying about a lot of things a couple of weeks ago. I was really surprised. So that goes back to Robert from California. Okay, fantastic. Let's see, what is the next one? IMX and STX. So let's look at IMX. IMX, we'll do that versus Tether. And this one is also starting to look good. Also starting to look at the volume coming in. Guys, look at the volume. This will tell you a story. Look at this. Okay, look at all the volume. Look at the volume here, and it's just going off right now. So that is, we now have an equal high on the weekly swing. So this is more of like a cup setting up with a handle. And if you get a breakout above 1.3, this is going to be the way to go. So that's going to be a really nice setup. The measured move on a cup with handle is basically the distance between the bottom up to the neckline. So if we just do a rough estimate, it's going to be somewhere north of $2 for the measured move target on this. So again, we're still in kind of a trading environment, but that'll be a really nice trade. So it looks good, but it's got to break above 1.3. It looks really good. The other one was STX, and STX has caught our radar. It's hit the top 30, I think. Where is this dude? No, maybe not. Okay, so this is Stacks. Stacks versus Tether, and this thing has been off and running. So this is and this is what happens in crypto, right? It's like something will base forever, and all of a sudden it just takes off. Look at the volume. So this one is off and running. Now, what do you do if you're on the sideline for this thing? What you do is you wait for the weekly chart to put in a higher low. This is still a downtrend. This is still a nasty looking chart. So what you need to do, wait for this thing to pull back. And it's going to be difficult. It'll be difficult not to chase after this. It's like we're all just a bunch of dogs chasing after cars, right? And it always ends badly. So this will be your challenge, is to wait for it to pull back. Maybe it'll come to some fib level, like 38.2, 50%, something like that. And then once it sets up a higher low and then starts to drive up, that'll be your entry point. Or you can wait for a more conservative entry point to where it breaks above that level. So that'll be your challenge. But Stacks looks really good. Okay, let's see. VeChain. Hey, Paul Lindsay. Let's look at VeChain. VeChain also hit the top 30. So here's VeChain. VeChain is just starting. That's a weekly chart. So VeChain's just starting to get lifting off here. Just starting to get lift off, and it's broken above this descending pattern. It's retested the 200-day moving average. We got ourselves a golden cross. We'll probably get an RSI Laguerre signal here fairly soon. So again, this is just a trading market for right now, but it still looks pretty good. I would make sure that this holds this ascending trend line. So I wouldn't want to see this one broken. If it breaks that trend line, it's probably heading back down again. Really wondering if the U.S. will lose its foothold on crypto if the East wakes up. do we really have a foothold on crypto? It's like there's so many, the restrictions are getting to be so onerous around here. They're just coming after the FTX. The FTX really screwed things up for everybody over here because now all of a sudden you got the SEC sniffing around in everything. And it's just making things very difficult to get anywhere. So, I always talked about this years ago. I said, yeah, you want regulation, you want institutions to be part of something. And I still truly believe that. If you really want volume, if you want money coming into your asset, and who doesn't, right? That's what you want. You want money coming into the asset. You want demand to be more than supply, and that's what pushes things up. And there's nothing like institutional volume. But guess what? They're not going to invest in stuff like this. Institutions are not going to be involved with things like this as long as there's all this FTX bullshit going on. And all the, like Three Arrows Capital and all these other bad actors have just got to get washed out of the system. And unfortunately, the SEC and the CFTC have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing right now. So they're all behind, as is Congress, right? So they're all just kind of fumbling the ball. They're just trying to learn about this stuff as we go on. And it's almost like they're not providing any guidance. What they're doing is they're litigating in arrears. So they're like, oh, you shouldn't have been doing that. So we're going to fine you because we just invented this rule. And so it's kind of a shambles right now. But, from the shambles, a phoenix will rise from the ashes at some point. Okay, Dust Protocol. Let's look at Dust. I have not looked at Dust in a long time. Okay, Dust is looking really good. This is why am I not looking at this one? I remember Dust from a long time ago. Let's go over to something like, are these the only two exchanges? Yeah, that is crazy. Maybe I'm just thinking of Dust as like, just the collection of little tiny pieces of BTC. So this one's only been around since October or so, at least on this exchange, which is CoinEx. So this looks really good. So what I want is $2 has got a hold as support. I want my $2. $2 has got a hold as support for this one. If it's able to hold as support and it starts to hook up again, then use that as, keep your stop below there and use that as support for a trade. Trade it back up and you can go from 2 to 3. And that'll be a 50% gain. So Dust looks pretty good. Blur. Let's look at Blur. Okay, I'm going to have to speed up here because I've got, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, okay, so the market it's alive. Now, Blur is on OKX. At least this is, let's see, who else is doing this? Let's try KuCoin. Yeah, it hasn't been around for very long, so I really can't look at this. There's not much that I can determine from this one. Let's see, Polygon. Matic, is that right? Why would you have a ticker symbol, Matic, and call yourself Polygon? What is wrong with these people? All right. Man, am I grumpy today or what? I was just, All right, so this is Polygon. Polygon has been one of the better coins that's out there. However, it's had kind of a rough couple of weeks. So let's see, from a trend trading perspective, we were holding this one. We got a great entry on Polygon here, trend trading, and it held all the way up to this point, did another buy, and then went underwater on it. So this one needs a rest. This is what we would call a larger time frame pullback. You can see this if you go out to the weekly chart. If you go out to the weekly chart, we can see that this is a nice weekly swing, and it's kind of got ahead of itself. It needs to pull back, and it needs to find some support around 1.2. So let it take a rest because it's gotten ahead of itself. So let Polygon come back down. And there we go. All right. So I would say your question, I would hold off a little bit longer on the pullback. Wait for there's a 50-day moving average. Let's see if that, but look for a smaller time frame. So this is how I use smaller time frames. You use them, look for this descending pattern to break to the upside. So it's going to happen off of a higher low. It's going to break above here, and then there's going to be the beginning of your next trend. So I would say wait till it breaks above 1.3, and that'll be a good entry. Okay. That is Polygon. All right. Novax. Hey. Let's see. Band tether. Let's see. I don't know much about this one. It's still kind of a mess. And what I'm seeing here is I'm just seeing a big triangle. This is just a big triangle. So there was an event that happened right here with Band. I don't know what it is. And it seems to be well timed with the FTX debacle. So something to do with FTX, either to the upside or the downside. But this one is still processing that information. It has not started to trend yet. So I would say wait until this one gets above 2.4, and then you've got yourself a jailbreak from that pattern. Okay, Matador, OP Optimism. I think we looked at this one last week. Oh, that looks lovely. It does. It does look lovely. Okay, so this is a little bit of an ascending triangle. We have a series of higher lows. We have some equal highs up here. So there's an ascending triangle, and we're going to have to break above 3.2 on that one. So I wouldn't try to catch this one in the pattern. I would wait until this breaks above 3.2, quite honestly. And this may even break down first, set up the weekly higher low, and then take off. So don't be surprised if you see this break down below that pattern. On Band, or no, that's Optimism, sorry. Let's see, Coinbase. Coinbase is such a weird one. Coinbase is a weird one. You would think that would happen, but it's all going to be based on adoption. It's all going to be based on adoption. I've not found anything to really trade on Coinbase yet. Okay, how's everybody doing today? Welcome aboard. Again, my name's Doc Severson. I'm with ReadySetCrypto. This is what we call the ReadySet Live. We have a new service that's out there, which is called ReadySetCrypto.ONE. So if you go to ReadySetCrypto.ONE, ReadySetCrypto.ONE, you can see our new platform, and we got trading signals being fired into there, which is awesome. I love that. Okay, Rose and H-bar. Let's look at Rose and H-bar. And I'm going to speed up here. I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm going to go more faster. Okay, Rose needs to hold. So we got to break above the 200, but this is still somewhat in this sort of dish pattern here, and it needs to break into a higher high from here above 8 cents. So good start, good volume. Got to keep it going though. So it's been a rough couple of weeks on Rose. Next one is H-bar. What is this, like Hedera hash graph or something like that? And this one was doing magnificently. And then again, it's been a rough couple of weeks. And the reason why it's been a rough couple of weeks is because of my buddy, James Bullard, who is the president of the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank. And he said 2 weeks ago, wow, I really wanted to raise interest rates 50 basis points at our last meeting. I can't wait to recommend that again. I really think that we should do 50 basis points this. So if you haven't figured that out by this time, the market is extremely sensitive to interest rates because interest rates go up. And then people say, well, why am I trading this crypto stuff? Why don't I just put it into a bank and I'm guaranteed a certain interest rate, right? So all of a sudden, 2 years ago, there is no alternative because interest rates were essentially zero. There is no alternative. Everybody was trading, their lights out. And now people are starting to say, maybe I should consider this fixed income stuff. And not just people, these are institutions with, billions of dollars. And so they're ripping it out of risk assets. This happens from time to time. And that's what happened 2 weeks ago. My buddy, James Ballard, rest in peace, James. All right. Let's see. Ultra is ticker UOS. Thank you for that, because I'd never be able to find it otherwise. UOS versus the dollar. Okay. I would say this one's on a void right now. This one is on a void. Dabello. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. This one's on a void because it's under the green line. The green line is the 200-day simple moving average, and it represents the mean of price movement. It's still declining, which means the price is still declining. It's below the mean. I do not trade anything that's below the 200-day moving average. Wait until it starts to move higher. All right, let's see. Greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Guess what? I moved down here from Westerville, so I'm very familiar with Columbus. Could I look at Filecoin? I'd be happy to look at Filecoin. Let's see. I know I've got it around here somewhere. FIL. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay. Right in front of me. Okay, so Filecoin, there we go. It's broken above the 200. It's pulling back. It's been a rough couple of weeks. But what I would say is if this is able to break above this level here, which is 7.26, 7.27 or so, then you've got yourself a signal. And that is showing a higher low. And so this may be setting up for the RSI hook here if it breaks above, say like 7.27 or 7.5. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, Robert, we already did Hex. That was the first one that we did. And CNC, Wrapped Ether, Conic Finance Token. Hey, that looks really pretty good. Now, this gives me some concern because this type of price action, it means that there is no liquidity. There's no liquidity on this. So this is in Wrapped Ether, so there was just nobody trading it. But a recent price action has been much better. Recent price action has been much better. So I like this. A breakout above 0.007 would be an excellent signal. And right now, it does look like there's a lot of energy on this, especially at a larger time frame. So this could support a nice breakout above 0.007. All right, so that's Wrapped Ether. The screen is blurred. The screen is blurred because what you need to do, if I go over to here, I'll show you how to fix that. So this is our YouTube channel. What you got to do is you got to go over here and you have to set the quality for something other than, you could set it to 1080p and you'll do much, much better. Okay. So that's us looking at us, looking at us, looking at us. Okay. So that's for you, Killian. I hope that helps. Anybody looking at TAP? All right, let's look at TAP. All right, we're going to wrap up here pretty soon. Let's look at TAP versus the US. No data. No data. Let's try this one. It's not very good. It hasn't been around for very long. I don't care for this one. We don't really have, it's below the 200-day moving average. It does not look good right now. So if this is the same one that you're thinking of, I would have this on a void for right now. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? We'll do a couple more and then I have to wrap up and boogie from you guys. Okay, AGIX. Let's look at this one versus Tether. And that's been a couple of strong days. Now, this one is very, very new. This one is very new, but it's already broken above 47. Let's see if there's any other way to. So this is Singularity. Let's try it on Binance. Yeah, it's very new. It's very new. So not much that I can tell on this one other than we're getting some accumulation. All right. Hey, Coob. What up, Coob? Fear versus Tether. Fear versus Tether. All right. So let's see what we got here. This one does look good. So it's got a buy point here at 13 cents on Fear versus Tether. Let's look at this on the RSI Laguerre. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's get some. Oh, this one's been pretty brutal. Okay, so recently, this is recent goodness. This is recent goodness here. So it's above the 200. So it's the very first. This is the very first potential buy point that we're seeing on Fear versus Tether. Okay, this will be our last one for today. This is Seb. Hey, Seb, good to see you again. And I'm going to go over QANX. And we're going to do this versus Tether if we can. There we go. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with this one. This one does not look good. Let's try this. Yeah, I can't. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong, or everybody hates this one because it does not look good. So I wish I had better news for you on this one. All right, everybody. So don't forget, if you like what you hear here, check us out. Go ahead and hit the free trial over at ReadySetCrypto.ONE, ReadySetCrypto.ONE. Go for a free trial for a week. Check us out and see what you think. All right. Thanks, everybody. You guys take care, and I will see you again next week. All right. Cheers and beers. Bye now.